welcome back to our channel. It's Bella here. In today's tutorial I created this makeup look for you guys and I really wanted to switch it up, so this is going to be a full face tutorial for you guys. So yeah, if you want to see how I achieved the look, then go ahead and keep on watching. And to be entered in this month's giveaway, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, make sure that you are subscribed to our channel, and make sure that you hit that bell button and turn your post notifications on. And if you're located in the United States, then go ahead and comment done down below to be automatically entered. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm grabbing my Too Faced Born This Way concealer and I'm just applying that all over my eyelid as a primer. And then I blended it out with a damp beauty sponge and set everything in place with some translucent powder. Next, I went in with the Glazed Lit-kit by Lauraleelosangeles and I used the shade Glow Gal, and I just used that shade to highlight my brow bone. For the eyeshadow palette that I went in with, I used the Doseofcolors Sassy Siennas palette, and the first shade that I went in with is this really light pink matte eyeshadow, and I just put that in my crease with a fluffy blending brush, and I just went in back and forth motions and circular motions just to put that in my crease. Next, I went in with this orangey brown matte eyeshadow and I picked that up with a defined angled brush, and a little bit above my actual crease I started to map out where I want to add definition. And as you guys can see, even when I open my eye, you could still see the shade that is in my crease, and that's pretty much how I like to find the placement of where I apply my eyeshadow. And then I went back into that first transition shade with a fluffy blending brush once again, and I just went directly over top of that line, really blending out that eyeshadow. Next, I went in with the darkest matte brown eyeshadow in the palette with a defined angled brush once again. And because we used a defined angled brush in the last step, you pretty much can already see exactly where you want to apply this shade, so I just put it directly over top. And then I went back into that transition shade with a fluffy blending brush just to really blend out that shade. And I pretty much always like to layer up my eyeshadows like this because it's the easiest way to get the most blended look. And then I went back into my Too Faced Born This Way concealer and I decided to clean up all over my eyelid. And I feel like this is the step that really makes this eyeshadow look pull together. It just, any eyeshadow that you put on top of this, it will just appear a lot more vibrant. And then I went back into the second shade in the palette with a flat shader brush. And I did actually set that concealer with some translucent powder before I went in and did this step, but I pretty much started to do light tapping motions on the very outer part of my eyelid, and I faded it inwards to about halfway on my lid. And then I went into this Doseofcolors Block Party eyeshadow in the shade Lock and Key. And I really love all of their Block Party eyeshadows. They're super pigmented and foiled, and they just look really good on the eye. This is what the shade Lock and Key looks like on the inside. It's kind of like a bronzy shade with a little bit of a like green gold shimmer. And I just packed that all over my entire eyelid. And I did also use my finger on the very center part because I feel like it just applies the most pigmented with your finger. And then I went back into the darkest matte brown eyeshadow in the palette and I started to apply this to the outer part of my lid just to add even more depth. Next, I went in with this Doseofcolors glitter liner in the shade Darling. And I really love using these Doseofcolors glitter liners because you don't have to use any glitter glue. You can just put it directly on the eye and it stays put exactly where you put it. And because of the really small applicator, you can put it in areas that a big brush wouldn't allow. So I can get it really up close to that crease area and not have any problems. And then I went back into the deepest matte brown eyeshadow in the palette. And with a detailed brush, I just started to stamp that exactly where I would apply a liner. And this is pretty much my favorite part of the whole look. I just really love how it looks with the matte brown eyeshadow in the outer lid and then also on the liner. For lashes, I went in with our Sofie lashes in the style Bali. And I'll leave a link in the description box down below if you guys want to check out our lash brand. This style is currently out of stock, but we will be restocking pretty soon. Moving on to the face, I went in with my Huda Beauty Tan Tour in the shade Light. And I just started to put that on my forehead and all the other areas that I want to contour. And this is how I've been doing my face makeup recently. I've been starting off with cream contour and then doing foundation and then doing concealer. So you guys will see it looks really crazy, but once I blend it out, it looks really good. So I just put it on my forehead, my cheekbones, my jawline, my nose, and I also contoured my lips. And I know it looks super crazy, but once you blend it out, it looks really good. And then I went in with this tapered blending brush from Luxie, and I just started to blend out all of those edges to make sure that everything is nice and seamless. And then I went in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation, and I started to stipple that onto that cream contour, and I use a very small amount, especially around my jawline, and I don't really put any on my nose or under my eyes just because I'm going to go in with concealer. So for concealer, I went in with the Huda Beauty Overachiever and the Doseofcolors Meet Your Hue concealer, and I mixed the two. And I just applied that under my eyes, under my chin, down the sides of my nose, and a little bit on my forehead. And then with a damp beauty blender, I just went in and started to blend out all of those edges to make sure that everything is nice and blended. And then I went in with my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder in the shade Banana. And I just set underneath my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, around my mouth area, my chin, and my forehead. And then with a loose brush, I just started to set the rest of my face. And I did my lower lash line. I pretty much applied all of the same eyeshadows that I put in my crease on my lower lash line. Next, I just started to bake the sides of my nose, and I feel like this is really good for just making the nose appear a little bit slimmer. And I typically get super oily around my nose, so by baking the sides, it just prevents me from getting super oily throughout the day because I naturally have very oily skin. Next, I went in with the Lauralee Glazed Lit-kit once again, and I grabbed the shade Glow Gal to highlight my cheekbones. And I really love this shade because it's gold, but it's still light enough to really give that nice champagne type of highlighter effect. And then I went in with my bhcosmetics bronzer in the shade Coco Cutie, and I started to bronze up my skin. And I pretty much applied bronzer to all of the same areas that I applied my cream contour to in the first step. So my forehead, my jawline, and my cheekbones. And I like to bake underneath my cheekbones, and then I apply my blush so that when I wipe it away, it just makes everything. I put the translucent powder pretty much on all the areas that I applied the bronzer and the contour, just to make sure that everything is extra blended. And for lips, I went in with the Doseofcolors liquid lipstick in Let's Cuddle, and I like to blend it into my lip liner with a lip brush. And for gloss, I went in with my Buxom lip gloss in the shade April, and I only apply it to the high point of my lip and the very center part of my bottom lip. And this is the finished look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for all of the love and support, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!